At the end of October, I took the opportunity to go to Phoenix and see one of my favorite artists perform. He wasn't performing in Kansas City or anywhere incredibly close to here. The nearest concert was about 8 hours away, so I decided I was going to book a ticket to fly to Phoenix, see some sights, eat some food, just enjoy myself, and also see Jeremy Zucker perform in concert. This is my documentation of that trip. It's gonna have some videos that I posted on my Instagram story, some photos that I took, and really just be about the 3 or 4 days that I was spending in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, I was working through this trip, so I was pretty limited in the amount of time that I was able to spend doing things that were fun. Most of the time I was just sitting in front of my laptop doing my typical day-to-day work. So I didn't do everything that I really would have liked to do in Phoenix, and so hopefully I can go back. Due to those time constraints, I mainly just cooked for myself. There was a Sprouts across the street that I went to. And I picked up a bunch of groceries there on my first night, and I mostly just cooked for myself.
Hey, if you're a vegan who was just shopping at Sprouts in Scottsdale, Arizona, why don't you bring the sausage you bought over and we can put our sausages together? I don't want euphemistic sausage. I want breakfast sausage. Which I know still sounds like I'm not even a sausage guy. I honestly prefer bagels. Okay, here's a food that you can't turn into a euphemism. It's just bagels. There's nothing euphemistic about that. I can't stress enough that I've been awake since about 11 a.m. yesterday, and it is 8:30 p.m. today. Is that how that works? I've been awake a long time. I'm gonna use that excuse.
But I did occasionally order in, and a couple of times I was even able to go out and stop at restaurants in Phoenix. My favorite one that I went to was definitely the Coronado, which was really close to the Phoenix airport, which makes it extra convenient. This was a vegan restaurant that serves breakfast food all day, which was absolutely fantastic. I got biscuits and gravy the first time, and then I went and grabbed a breakfast burrito right before my flight out back to Kansas City. The food here was awesome. The service was incredible. All around, I just had a nice experience. I landed in Phoenix. I went to the first vegan spot that I had on my list, and it was just incredible. What a really great start. I was also at this point really exhausted when I went there. I'm on an overnight shift, so I generally go to bed at about 9 a.m. and this was the equivalent of roughly 11 a.m. when I stopped to get my food, and I had to stay awake until 3 p.m. when my Airbnb would be ready. So I was exhausted, and getting some nice breakfast tea from them definitely gave me the pick-me-up that I needed to get through the next few hours of the day. I also went to a spot called Simon's Hot Dogs. The food there was pretty good. It's not an all vegan restaurant, and I really wanted to support entirely vegan restaurants, but there just weren't all that many options that could deliver to me. And Simon's Hot Dogs was actually right around the corner from me and had plenty of vegan options. By no means healthy, but it tasted good. But I was making up for the healthy meal that I'd had the day before at the herb box when I had something that was Brussels sprouts and cauliflower, lentils, some oranges I think were in there. It was really good, but it was also really healthy, so shoving a vegan hot dog down my face the next day was a reward to myself for having eaten basically a salad the day before. Now, the only day that I had off for this trip was Friday, and unfortunately that was also the day of the concert, so I was really limited in what I was able to do with my one free day in Phoenix. I wanted to go on hikes, but I just couldn't make it feasibly work with one, my insane overnight sleep schedule, and two, just how far away the concert was from my Airbnb and all the driving I was gonna have to do, having to clean up. So unfortunately, I didn't get to go on any really exciting or exhilarating hikes. I just went to the nearest park that was about 20 minutes away from my Airbnb, and it was pleasant, but it was not like in the middle of nature. You could see the city from it. It was heavily trafficked. It wasn't really like a hiking destination. It was more just a pleasant park. So it was nice, but I didn't really get to go on any hikes, which is really what I look forward to in some of these trips. So hopefully next time I go to Arizona, I can stay somewhere where there's more hiking options. Somewhere like Sedona, I saw plenty of gorgeous looking hikes, and I would love to go out there and hike in those areas. So I didn't get any hikes done, but I did take a couple of photos of the city and of the park that I really liked, and I'll pop those up here, and I've also been posting them pretty frequently on my Instagram account. And speaking of my Instagram account, if you would like to follow me, I am at TL Bainter on most social media platforms. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are my main ones, with Instagram being my most active if you are hoping to interact with me. And while I'm at it, If you like my content, please feel free to like and subscribe. That definitely helps me build up this channel as I'm working to construct it from the ground up. The heart of this trip was the concert. I came out to Phoenix to see Jeremy Zucker, one of my favorite artists. His new album especially is really meaningful to me, and this is an event that I absolutely just could not miss. Going out there for the concert, I had a list of songs that I really wanted to hear him perform. My current favorite song in his repertoire is I Can't Look at You. Now, he performed Always I'll Care and Honest during his main set, and that was wonderful and I enjoyed it. And then he played several other songs that I really like, but weren't the ones that I really hoped to see when I came out here.
I also imagine myself in the middle of this crowd. And I imagine like a camera up here looking down. Also, I had to think about when I planned this tour, safety, obviously, and I'm so sorry I had to do that. But just pretend I'm in there with you guys. Maybe next time.
And then he ended the show and people started to leave while a few others called for an encore, and the call for an encore continued, and it started to look like there wasn't going to be one, and more people filed out. But I remained hopeful because I hadn't heard all of the songs that I really wanted to hear yet. And so as the crowd continued dispersing, I kept pushing forward, and I was probably about 2 or 3 rows of people back when he came back out and then performed not just one of the songs I really wanted to hear, but 2 of them. He did Talk Is Overrated, which was outstanding, and then he followed it up with the one that I really wanted to hear, which was I Can't Look at You, and that was absolutely magical. Might have cried a little bit, just a little. It was really awesome, not only being able to hear those songs that I really looked forward to hearing, but also being able to hear them while I was so close to the front of the stage. I hadn't come here with the intention of being right in the front of the crowd, but it just wound up happening for one of my favorite songs that he has, and that was really awesome. He also just put on a fantastic show, and he had other people that were with him. Valley Boy Sucks was the opener, and he did a fantastic job if you want to go and check him out. It was totally worth everything that I had to do in order to make this event happen. I am glad that I'm currently in a position to work remotely because that is part of what made this trip possible, since I couldn't afford to take more time off. And I'm just glad that he put on this fantastic show. This was my first event since quarantine started, so I was excited and nervous, and it went absolutely wonderfully. If you want more vacation content, I actually have another video up about the trip that me and 5 of my friends took to Los Angeles back in early September. You can check that out over here. Until next time, bye.